A couple days of training camp are in the books. Let's do a bit of a recap on what the Magic have been saying so far. This is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source for all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Magic fans, by a Magic fan. I'm Edwin Valentine, and I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. You got to do the normal YouTube thing, so hit that like, share this video, drop a comment below letting me know what you think this upcoming season has in store for us. And if you're one to do so, hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any content that I produce, as well as joining the Orlando Magic Nation community. So the largest part of this is going to be a recap of what was talked about in Media Day. I know it's been a couple days, so we'll go over a little bit on what was talked about at training camp day 1 and training camp day 2, but the bulk of this is going to be about Media Day because it also gives more of an insight on how the guys are coming into the season mentally, because a lot of them discuss that specifically. So let's get started with a abbreviated bit of the Media Day. Now it's still going to be a little bit long. That's why you see the runtime of this video. I chopped it about into a third, which is still about 50 plus minutes, but I just wanted to kind of go through what each one of the guys are saying, because each one is coming into this season with different expectations, with different realities. So I just wanted to get a better understanding on each one of the guys, because that's just going to help us get more attached to them as we get through the season. So we're going to start off with Jeff Weltman, just kind of doing a bit of a State of the Magic address. It's a bit choppy again because I wanted to edit it down so it's not as long, but I wanted to start off with Jeff.
For us, I've never been more excited since I've been here personally. I feel that we have a team that's capable of accomplishing big things. Everyone has come in with the right mindset. Everyone's together, and the vibe in the building has been really exceptional the last couple of weeks. Obviously, a lot of notable players have suffered injuries, but it's a league of injuries, and we've been unfortunately we've contributed to those, over the years. So I think that, that's constantly shifting. I don't look at, when I think about like the landscape of a conference or a division, I don't look at like a year to year. I look at the long range prospects of where each team is heading, what they're trying to build. And I think the East is really strong. I think that there are a lot of teams that are, about to pop.
It's a very interesting take because obviously in his role, he always has to be looking at things in advance. He can't really just look at this specific game, that specific game. That's not what he's doing, because obviously we all know about the salary cap that's going to be coming in the future. So he has to kind of be 2 steps ahead. And maybe he has always been 2 steps ahead, even though it frustrated us a bit when he wasn't doing that, when it felt as they weren't doing anything in terms of trade or anything like that. So I think in that respect, it's interesting, and it's true. If you look at it, there's certain teams that could pop. Detroit could pop. Atlanta could pop. We're definitely going to pop. So it's Charlotte's on its way to not being as horrible. So really, I think that's been an interesting take from him on that respect.
And hopefully we're one of them. So I look past this wave of injuries, and I just hope that we don't contribute to that. That's all. Yep. Obviously, two different injuries, different players, and different timetables. So, Jalen, we kind of have said all along that, it's a long way off to start to set goals, but, we've targeted opening day for him, and, there's still a long way to go before we get there, but he's worked really hard. He's made a lot of progress. He's in an incredible mind space. And I think that, he'll be a participant in whatever parts of training camp Arnie deems. And through that, we'll remain targeting opening day, and hopefully that will remain hopeful that becomes available to him. And if not, somewhere right around there. Mo's timeline is obviously different. He's further away. I think you guys know that, there have been, unfortunately, a series of ACLs in the last, decade of the NBA, and like the associated timeline with that. But you guys also know Mo Wagner. And so he's not your normal guy. And so he's attacking it. And, we're hopeful that he can beat that timeline. And what that looks like exactly, I think it's too soon to say.
So I think the biggest surprise coming into training camp was that Jalen was still not 100%. I think we all assumed that procedure happened so long ago that he had plenty of time to rehab. But I like that they're taking a very slow approach in that they want to get all the little things right. And we're going to hear from both Jalen and we're going to hear from Mo. But while they talk about their rehab, so I think that's going to be something that again we'll get to. But I really like that they have that long view approach with Jalen and Mo because we're hoping that the season is going to go at least until May. So we have a long season ahead of us. So even if they're not back in the first game or they're not back in the first couple months, especially Jalen, Mo isn't going to come back until likely December. But Jalen, take your time. Like I said, I if it was up to me, I'd have him come off the bench to kind of save all that energy for later on at the end of the games as well as later on into the season. But just take your time. All good. Don't rush back.
And part of the youth is exactly what you're alluding to. How do you handle the expectations? How do you handle all these pats on the back? I mean, I handle them like this, but it's a young group, and I think that they have to process all that stuff together. I think our coaches have done an amazing job messaging that we haven't earned anything, we haven't done anything yet. I think our players know that. They know that everything that they get has to be earned, and I think that the addition of our two veterans this year will only help kind of spread that message. We've talked a lot over the years about the financial compression that's coming at our team, and obviously you guys know we kind of put our foot on the gas a little bit this year. So we're up against the first apron. We are in a situation where we are going to carry 14 players. We're not able to add a player at this point. Around the middle of the season, when that gets aggregated into kind of the second half of the prorated salary, then we can start to look at minimum players at that level.
Yeah, we've talked about that. If you've checked my older videos early on in the summer, I definitely talked about that as well, that the Magic aren't going to add anybody else to the team. And that's also why our two-way players are really important. We need to make sure that those guys are going to be up to the level of contributing because if we have a couple injuries, we can't really do anything replacement wise. So that's going to be something that needs to be something that we focus on, ensuring that those guys are at a level to be able to contribute. And I think that's why we've got older two-way players that are basically in their last year of eligibility because we're going to need them to play if we end up being injured. Now, as he mentioned, midway through the season, it's really going to be more at the end of the trade deadline, so more buyout time. That's going to be when we would likely add for the playoff roster. So we will see who ends up shaking loose and if we are at a place where we have such a great record that everybody's going to want to come to the Magic and fill that last playoff spot.
One of the things that we set out to do this year was kind of turn the corner. And so we've talked a lot about the difficulty of kind of like running two races, trying to develop players as your kind of North Star and win games. And honestly, it hasn't always been easy. It's been a little bumpy sometimes, but that's just kind of like what you embrace when you go through that. I think this year, hopefully, we're kind of like turning the corner on that, and the guys that can help us win will play.
That question was specifically about AB and Jett because they're going into their third season, and third season is when you really start to kind of project what they're going to be and what you're going to offer them in next summer for contract extensions, when rookie contract extensions. So I think that's where he was talking about, he generalized it for a while there, but in the end, he was talking about AB and Jett, and that's the way it's going to be with this team now. We're championship contenders. We have championship aspirations. So whoever is going to play needs to be able to contribute. And if they can't contribute, they're not going to play.
So, I think this is a much different, perspective as we enter the season. And I think it's honestly simplified for a lot of our guys. If you're ready to help us win, you're going to get on the court. The best thing about Paolo is that's an easy answer. We got to win. We're paying these guys because we want to win. And Paolo knows that. If you were to ask him, it's just like, it's an easy answer. I feel that as I alluded to earlier, like when you say like these guys are 22, 23, 21 years old, you just anticipate growth, 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 growth. At some point, even a 29-year-old can get better, but not at the same pace that you expect these young guys to get better. And that's kind of what's exciting about our team, that a lot of our core guys are under contract for many years and that they have the internal drive to win, even if that means sacrifice.
That question was, what's the next step for Paolo? And as you said, winning. Paolo already has pretty gaudy numbers. If he's healthy and if he reaches 65 games, I think everyone's projecting him to be at least in the conversation for All NBA as well as MVP. At least that's what I've posted in a few of my videos. I think he's going to be in the top 3 in voting just because I think we're going to beat expectations and we're going to be overachieving throughout the season. So then we're just going to get more and more and more media attention. And with that media attention will come the accolades. And that's what I think Paolo's going to do. But as he said, he mentioned sacrifice. There's going to be sacrifice to an extent on this team, especially for the amount of shots. Hopefully we score more. And that's going to be something that it's just going to allow for more guys to be able to have more shots. But Paolo likely won't be able to have as many shots because now we bring in a guy with as a guy like Desmond who will be able to take some of the load off. So that might be the person that ends up eating into some of Paolo's shots, or Desmond's going to be the one to sacrifice because he's used to shooting more in Memphis than he will in the Magic. So someone's going to have to sacrifice in the end, and that's what it seems like the team is willing to do.
Well, the biggest piece that everyone's talked about is their ability to shoot the basketball. The space in which they provide on the floor, I think, is tremendous. Then the other side of that, though, is their leadership.
This is talking about Tyus and Desmond.
Their leadership, their experience, what they've done in this league, who they've been for each team that they've been on. I think that provides such great mentorship for our young guys and also a mindset of guys that have done it throughout this league, and they can share that experience in the locker room. Well, I mean, we want to focus. We talked a lot this summer of our ability to convert, and
that bit is about offense, and it's just one of those facts that we haven't been out of the bottom 10 in offense in the league for 12, 13 years at this point. So if a kid was born the year that we were last not in the bottom 10 on offense, they would already be in middle school. So that's not great. So this is his answer about the offense.
You have the number 2 defense in the NBA. You hang your hat on the defensive end, and our ability to get out in transition was high. Our ability to convert is where we have to improve. And so being able to hang our hat on the defensive end still, but get out and push the pace faster in transition after you get those stops, after you get those steals, after you make those turnovers, we've got to make sure we finish on the other end. And that's what, Desmond and Tyus have done. They did that in Memphis when they pushed the pace. They were a fast-paced team. So they understand how we need to run and how we got to get out in the open court.
As well as Franz. That's going to help Franz immensely. As we saw when Eurobasket, Franz in the open court is just deadly.
I really think it's always about developing. I've just talked to some guys over there, just the ability to always develop. And it's going to be in different stages. And so Jase is going to be at a different development than Paolo. But the goal of the team is about how do you get better, how do you strive to put yourself in the best position to win a championship. And each guy is on a different path, but you're going to always develop these guys to become the best version of themselves. I mean, every team in the league looks at the champion and sees how they measure up. And I think our guys have done a great job of looking at what OKC has done and seeing some of themselves in them. And our ability to just look at some of the things that they've done well, but also adding our own flavor to it. What we do, how physical we are, how big we are, the advantages we can take of certain things. I think that's a big key piece for us. I just told the group in the locker room, there's nobody outside of that locker room that should have higher expectations for ourselves than us. And so there's going to be a lot of things written. There's going to be a lot of people saying a lot of things about what we should and could do, but our standard is high and what we know we're capable of doing. And it starts with our everyday work. We're getting better every day. And I'll say it now on September 29th, playing our best basketball towards the end of the season. And that's going to be steps every single day. Jalen Suggs says it all the time, you continue to stack days. How many days can we stack up until that end of the season? And every game is important. Every practice is important. Every recovery is important. How are we getting better every single day to build to be playing our best healthy basketball at the end of the season?
Stack days. That should be the motto for the team this year because he mentioned it. Jeff Weltman mentioned it during his bit. Jalen, of course, talked about it as well as he attributed it to Jalen. But stacking days is a really cool way of thinking of it.
It's invaluable. One, the relationships that are built while Randy's over there with Tristan and Franz. Just understanding a different side of the game, the offenses that they run, the different things that other coaches are preaching, the style of play. And then the last piece with all three of them being over there together was that mentality. They were chasing something. You're chasing gold, and they did that together. And they talked about what it took, the adversity that they hit, what you have to do to be in that, put yourself in that situation. And I think that comes back right to what we're trying to do with the Magic.
We're chasing gold too. That trophy's gold. So hopefully they're able to incorporate that bit with the rest of the team.
Franz and the others.
Absolutely. I think you can take something from both of them. Obviously, Sham has worked with Kyrie, Luka, Porzingis, Harrison Barnes, some of the great ones, some of the great basketball players, and taking something from each one of those guys. One, their work ethic, their leadership, the skills that they have on the court, and just the consistent routine that each one of those guys had. I think that's going to be very important. Joe Prunty, obviously working with some of the great players and winning championships and working with some of the great coaches. He's got some unbelievable basketball ideas offensively, and so he brings that to the table, and it's just being able to implement that on top of the things that we did well last year.
It means the world to me, just considering, my first 3 years and me, just spending so much time here and being a part of this organization, to sign a second
Yeah, Paolo's talking about his second deal.
deal and, lock in the future here is an amazing feeling. Yeah, it feels good, definitely happy with the moves that, the organization made and brought, two great experienced players in here and drafted two great rookies, I think. So just excited to get to work with the group and get on the court and start building that chemistry. Yeah, I would say one part of my game I worked on this summer, definitely my three-point shot and also just my finishing, creative finishes, finishing around the basket, stuff like that. So excited to showcase that. Just by going out and working every day, working to be the best. Expectations are from the outside are one thing, but internally, you should expect a lot out of yourself as a player and as a team. So just living up to the expectations that you set for yourself is most important, and I think you just accomplish that by going out and trying to work your hardest every day. Yeah, I think it was for me, it was just getting back to what I knew. I think heading
This bit is going to be talking about how he trained in the off season and the differences between what he had done previously.
into my third year, I tried something a little different in terms of the way I trained and how hard I pushed my body. And not saying that was the cause of my injury, but I think it did play a part. And so for me, coming into my fourth year, I just wanted to get back to doing what I know and kind of listening to my body how I usually do rather than trying to do something new or different. Tremendously, just being a new guy coming in and having the experience he has, I think he knows that it's important, that he builds the relationships with everybody on the team and
This is Desmond.
just, the whole organization, because he's going to be a huge part in what we do. So, we got to get used to him. We got to get accustomed to who he is as a person and as a player. Yeah, I think it just comes down to being efficient as a team, as an offense, trying to score without using, so much energy or having to work as hard to score, trying to, whether that's, sets or, a style of play that allows us to create easier baskets. Because like you said, we don't want to sacrifice our defense.
I think it's just the people from top to bottom, starting with Jeff, Mose, trickles down through the players, support staff, just good people. We just had
I was going to say, you see it in pictures and you see it in different film, but this guy is jacked. These arms are just ridiculous.
Magic Family Day yesterday. Everybody's bringing their families. Kids are playing around, running around, doing their thing. Organic vibe, like no need to force it. It's been a breath of fresh air for sure. I don't think we got to do anything different than what we've done. Continue to stack days, continue to be willing to learn, and push each other. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. We got to build that chemistry and camaraderie. But with the mindset that he has and the mindset that I have, I'm sure that we can do some special things.
Talk about Tyus and Jalen as well, like just talking about the backcourt in general.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what last year and a few of the previous years in Memphis had taught me, that regardless of situation, I'll be able to have an impact. I'm willing to do whatever, however the team needs or sees fit. So I'm confident, being thrown in just about any situation on the court on both sides of the floor. Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be beneficial for everyone. Like I said, we got a lot of unique skill sets, and I think mine will fit right in and complement what a lot of these guys are already pretty good at. And I'm just excited to hopefully take some pressure off and make things easier.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, you could just see that these guys are very excited to have Desmond on the court, just because he is going to make things so much easier. Even if he shoots at his worst 3-point percentage, which I think he did last year since his rookie year, and it still was very good, as we could see, as we see from his 2K rating, it's still in the top 5, let's say, of all 3-point shooters. So that's going to be something that is absolutely going to help the Magic this season.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, first of all, you're in shape. It's hard to get into the actual basketball shape.
Talking about the Eurobaskets, it's basically like him coming directly from Eurobasket.
With just practicing. So, I played, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago, the last game, and it was, it was just good physically, mentally also. I mean, obviously you always want to rest during the summer, but for me, being able to, take that 2.5 months for national team and get something back is just, it's just great for me. And, we're not robots and just play basketball. In your head, you also have to be in a good place, and, that really helped me.
Goga, you were splashing threes for Georgia. How confident do you feel in your three-point shot today, and do you expect to take a higher volume of threes this season?
I've been confident. Well, maybe it doesn't look like it, but yeah, I've been confident because I put the work in. I mean, every single year it's the same thing. I mean, everybody knows here I have good mechanics. If you get into details, I come in here, and if somebody looks at my workout, I'm a shooter, and I proved that on Eurobasket. So now. Last year I proved myself that I can be a winner. I can actually have a huge role with the team, and help the team winning the games. Now I think I have that little bit extra confidence. Maybe I can take a shot or two, and it's not gonna be. I mean, nobody has ever said to me like, oh, I'll be honest with you, like, don't shoot the threes. Nobody has ever said that. Jamal never said that, or anybody around the team. So I have that, green light from them to take a wide open three. It's going to be a different game for everybody. It's going to space the floor well. And, me seeing myself, still, hitting those shots on Eurobasket and be a good shooter. I mean, I think it's a little extra confidence, and it's going to translate into here as well.
Absolutely. I mentioned it in his player profile that's definitely that's you when you see him shoot, it's not that he has a weird shot that had anything like that. I think he just needs a little bit more loft, a little bit more arc on it, but the mechanics were always there, and he put in all the work, and hopefully we have some more Eurobasket Goga on the Magic this year.
I feel good coming into training camp. This summer was just about the work, all aspects. Shooting was a big part of it. Big emphasis on getting my shot up, and I feel like that's been going well, so super confident in that area. I'll just say my aggression, just being in attack mode every time I get it, regardless of how the game's going, how the season's going, how that possession's going, just being aggressive, staying in attack mode, and just fully trusting myself for 82 games.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I'm sure him as being a young guy, just in a team full of other guys, that people have probably been on him constantly to be more aggressive, just be more aggressive, just be more aggressive. Maybe it's just not in him or wasn't in him in the last couple of years that he's just grown into it now, and hopefully he is more aggressive. And that's something that they talked about in the training camp day 2. They really talked about how they already see it just in those 2 days how aggressive that AB is being so far.
One part of my game I'm willing to showcase, it's probably just, my continued shooting growth. Being able to shoot in the mid-range, being able to punish smaller defenders, shoot over them, and then just continue to make shots from the three-point line, whether that's off the dribble, off the catch, in transition, or however they might come. And then my jersey number is just, as a kid, when you don't really know much about basketball or sports, you just watch the TV and certain players just get your attention, I guess. For me, that was Gilbert Arenas, so that's 0. Asians.
Interesting. I didn't know that was why he had 0.
0. I'll just say my ability to guard multiple positions. I can get low and guard point guards. I can guard wings. I think that's big for the team, and I think this year I can be more aggressive and just make it easier on those other players on the court. But yeah, just continuing to be aggressive on both ends. I think that's just an easy standard I can have for myself, and I think that's something I can do every game. Any pressure that we have on ourselves is just based upon our belief that we have in ourselves. Obviously, we know and see the expectations that other people are having for us outside of this building, but we try to focus on what we believe we should do. And we probably have similar expectations to everybody outside the building, so we try to focus on that, focus on us, and just try to take steps towards that goal every day.
Had a great summer. One of my first summers in the past 2 or 3 years where I've not had to worry about any injuries, just kind of just training, getting better on and off the court. Expectation for myself going into this year is to be that dog night in, night out for this team. Hit the glass hard every night, no matter what happened the night before or whoever we're playing, doesn't matter. Just being that dog, like I'm just saying.
Throughout the course of the media day, you hear a lot of them about their mind. Like Goga talked about, we're not robots. AB's talking about aggression. And we've got Wendell here talking as well about just trying to stay in the moment and just continuing to push through, because that was something that you did see a few times last year with the Magic, that they just would get frazzled, or especially when it came to, let's say, Wendell and Goga, like they would get really into their head or they would get upset, and then it would kind of take them out. Like obviously not entirely out of the game, but you could just see they weren't as focused on the little details that it takes to win. And hopefully that's something that these guys are getting right, because they seem like they got their mind right.
Just for this team. Then as a team, I think, everyone's saying we want to win a championship, but I think, in my opinion, as long as we continue to stay together throughout the whole year, no matter if we won 5 games in a row or lost 5 in a row, just continue to have that poise that we've been talking about for the past year or two. Just continuing that, and I think that will propel us into the postseason or whatever that may hold. I don't necessarily think it changes. I think it honestly makes it a lot easier for me, in my opinion. If you look at guys like Desmond and Tyus, Desmond's a knockdown shooter. Tyus is, one of the best point guards in terms of turnover ratio and things like that in this league. It just makes it a lot more easier for me. They're going to find me in sweet spots. They're probably going to start doubling Desmond throughout the game when he's knocking down threes. So it's just going to make it so much easier for me. My confidence is at an all-time high right now. I'm feeling good. I feel like, when I had this summer just to train, it wasn't necessarily about me becoming a better shooter. I know I can shoot. It wasn't about me being able to make moves in the post like I know I can do. It was just about me boosting my confidence, because the more you work, the more you're on the court, you get out there, you just feel like, okay, I know this is going in. Even if it doesn't, I know it feels good. I've shot a million of these shots throughout the summer, so it just felt good to just kind of have one of those summers again where I can just actually just work on my craft and just continue to build my confidence, which would be needed for this team in my opinion.
He mentioned that he had regular workouts this summer where he didn't have to really rehab or worry about an injury. So that's why he's coming in super confident, because he didn't really have to worry about injuries or fighting through any ailments to do his workouts.
I love that question.
This is a question about about the WNBA and who's his favorite player.
This offseason was big on just me being more of a knockdown shooter, being a guy who can be relied on in certain parts of the game to knock down open shots. So it was a lot of shooting going on this offseason for me. I definitely feel like I'm one of the most versatile bigs in this league. You know, you look at guys like you just said, Bam. Bam is probably the ideal type that everyone thinks is the most versatile big in this league. But I'm right up there with them. I feel like I can do pretty much anything that's needed. Guard 1 through 5, can rebound, can screen well, can pass the ball really well, can knock down open shots. So, yeah, I definitely think I'll rank up there in terms of versatility. In terms of the 2-on-2, definitely 11-0. Wendell and Angel for sure. Shut them out. Shout out Bam and Asia though.
I guess it's not necessarily official that he's with Angel Reese, but I guess that's the implication, and that's where he started smiling and being like that. So AB and Wendell, to me, are going to be the two biggest X factors throughout this season. Wendell just does so many little things that it doesn't always come up in the box score, and that's why people are calling him a bum and they say all this other stuff. But really, you need a guy like Wendell, especially if he is going to start. I'd rather start Goga, but if Wendell was going to start, you need somebody like that who's going to be the fifth guy, who's going to do all the little dirty work. Luckily, our guys are all dogs, and they all like to make sure that they're doing a little bit of everything. They're digging in, getting rebounds. But you still need somebody that's going to be the one to not get the ball, who's not going to score, who's going to be able to set screens, who's going to grab that rebound, who's going to get those offensive rebounds. You're going to need somebody to be that way, and that's what Wendell is. Again, he's not a high flyer. He's not going to spike blocks. He's not going to do anything like that, but he's almost always in the right position to at least obstruct, and that's why he helps our defense in so many ways.
Yeah, it was an amazing summer. Really, really fun. Really kind of, still kind of thinking about it, and it's surreal to win a tournament like this, but also be on the same team with my brother, one of my teammates here from Orlando. Unfortunately, Mo couldn't be there, but playing out there with Franz, very special, and it was just a great vibe to be in that tournament. Same with the Summer League. That was really fun in Vegas, and some vacation before that. So there's a lot of stuff going on this summer.
You want to do for this?
Yeah, pretty similar. I think,
Tristan's going to want to rest next year, huh? He did Summer League and Eurobasket, so luckily there's no international tournaments next year, so he's going to be able to relax. And this other question is about role on the Magic and if it was the same as the role in Team Germany. If you watched my videos of Team Germany throughout Eurobasket, you already know the answer.
In Germany, we had Dennis and Franz, who were the primary ball handlers. So you have to kind of find your own niche to be effective in, and I think that's going to be similar here with the amount of ball handlers that we have on the team and our versatility. But I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, we spend a lot of. We play the card game BS.
You talked about how the time spent with Franz is kind of like if it brought them together or not.
Yeah, Franz is a good liar. That's what I learned. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of familiar faces, but some unfamiliar faces too. I mean, it's very. It already, everybody kind of already gelled together. It's funny to be in a locker room like this and hear stories about like teams that didn't really get along too well, because it seems like last year and this year, I'm 2 out of 2 right now.
That's also something that the Magic really do focus on and bringing in high character guys. So that makes sense. Even you could have high character and not necessarily gel with everybody, but I think it's a really good thing because you can see we have a mix. Just even the way these guys talk, you got some guys that are not as vocal, and then you got some guys like Goga or Mo who are just gonna talk your ear off.
I'm 2 for 2. Yeah, I mean it's a playoff situation really. It's a do or die every single game. So, the pressure is kind of on, and to be in those situations and still perform at the highest level or be efficient or be impactful, I feel like that's what it's all about. So, figuring that part out is really helpful for once we get down the line to the playoffs.
I feel like I focused on my mind most importantly, getting my mental sharp, helping my IQ out. Defensively, offensively, I don't feel like anything was in particular. I feel like I got better as a whole, most importantly. So I think just spending time away from the facility and working every day as hard as I can. So I think I improved in pretty much every area. I got big expectations. I think I could impact my game on both sides. So it's just a matter of doing it now. That's a good question. I honestly feel like, I approached it pretty good last season, my preparation. So I'm not really going to change much just in terms of just, sustaining that throughout the season. Because I had a pretty good training camp last year. So I think, just staying down, focusing on the main thing, and watching film, spending time with coaches, I think that's going to help a lot. Yeah. So in high school, we played on
This one is why is his jersey number 13?
Fridays. One of my favorite movies was
So they played on Fridays in high school. Sorry, I'm talking over him.
Friday the 13th. So I remember somebody was guarding me and I was like, yo, it gets scary on Fridays. And I was like, they was like, that's why I wear 13. Honestly, I just think I need to be consistent, more off the court and on the court. Just with like daily habits. I feel like you just wake up and just do the same thing every day. That builds consistency on the court as well. So just editing your life as much as possible to, because believe it or not, off the court impacts on the court. So just building those habits. That could be texting AB to go over and watch film at his house. We live in the same spot, or just going the extra mile as much as I can. Yeah.
I feel fantastic. This is a little weird doing this here. I feel great. I know the team is excited. We got new faces. We got young faces, and we're just excited about what this team can be, what it can do, and looking forward to it. Yeah, I feel awesome. I feel amazing. I definitely lost some weight, which feels good. And honestly, we didn't really do a lot. It was just like, I'm just not going to eat as much. and so that helped. And working out, helped me shed some. So I'm feeling good. Yeah, it was obvious I struggled to shoot the ball last year. From shooting, 37 and a half the year before to 25 last season. I struggled, not just, physically with shooting the basketball, but it took a toll on me mentally. And so I feel like just getting back to myself, I think even just losing a little bit of the weight gives me more freedom to fly around and be myself, and then it also just calms me down to just play the game that I can play. And so I'm excited about that. And then just having fun, there were times last season for me that weren't fun. And I'm looking to get back to having fun and being here with the guys and enjoying myself no matter what happens.
I think it's interesting because for guys like Wendell, guys like J.I., yeah, they struggled. Of course they struggled. Like, everybody could see it. Their performance at work is in front of everybody. It's not like you or I, where our performance, if we do a good job, people aren't going to critique it necessarily. Well, maybe in this, you might be critiquing me, but it is what it is. But for these guys, they you can tell that that's what their reality is. So they know it. They hear it. They hear all the stuff, no matter what they say. If they say like, oh, I don't listen to social media, or I don't watch the news, or read newspapers, if that's a thing anymore, you can hear all that all the time. But as you can hear, AB's talking about aggression. JI's talking about his shooting and getting his mind right. Same thing with Wendell, getting their mind right, because you just they can hear it. There's no way to really shield yourself from any of this talk anymore, especially with social media at this point. So it's interesting to listen to these guys talk specifically about that. And with JI, again, him being able to fly around, hopefully that will just kind of put everything back into place so that he's able to perform at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've addressed some of those issues just from the team perspective of guys that we've added. And I think that it's going to be obvious, once we get rolling, some of the weapons that we have. And so I think the bigger question is how do we maintain being a number one, number two defense while getting better drastically offensively? And I think that can be something that we could, fall into where, okay, we're this offensive team now. We may lose a little bit of that defensive identity, but I don't see that happening at all. And looking forward to us being more balanced. In terms of my game, honestly, a lot of it for me, honestly, was even more mental, this summer than it was, on the hardwood. I definitely worked out a ton, shot the ball, really well throughout the summer. And so, expecting to showcase that. But even just the mental piece of kind of trusting myself a little more, even finding my identity outside of this game. And residing it in Christ has been something that's really helped me a lot.
Yeah, I think for me right now, I was just, the off season, continuing to just get up a bunch of shots, continue to try to, extend my range on from the 3-point line, and just continue to work on my body, get in shape. We're trying to play faster this year, so continue to get in, just try to as best shape as possible. Yeah, I'm thrilled with, the decision to come here, and it's been, again, nothing but great times, for me and my family since getting down here. I got a son who started kindergarten, and he's loving it. We've done the Disney World thing, and that was fun. And obviously, there's a goal in mind, right? Like that's what we're all on the same page with what we're trying to do, and that's what drew me here is the chance to compete for a championship and to really chase that. Yeah, Jalen, that's my little brother. We go back, and it's surreal. To kind of take a step back and see where we're at, and to understand we're both in the NBA, we're teammates, and it's been fun. I'm looking forward to the season. We're gonna have so many memories. Our families are extremely close. Like it's a surreal feeling to be able to be teammates with them. Just getting to know the guys. There's no egos in this.
This is a really cool part because this just shows not only his leadership that he's going to be bringing to the team, but also just his mentality as a point guard. And I think that's, again, what we've been missing when it comes to not having a true point guard on the team. It's this little bit as well.
This group, everyone's, wants the next person's success as much as their own, and that's rare. But just how guys get along, the friendly banter back and forth, the competitiveness in the gym, whether it's playing pickup, shooting drills, things like that. It's just a good group, down-to-earth group, and I think it's just going to be a fun, memorable year. But this has been a place where I've kind of had my eye on and thought the fit was there the last few years. And it eventually played itself out, you know what I mean? And the time is right now, and I'm excited to be here. And I think the fit is right, and I don't want to, put too many expectations on it, but I know it's going to be a good year. But for me, this is all new, so all the terminology is new. All the personalities are new, you know what I mean? Like I know I have a few connections already, obviously, but again, like this is my first time. Like I know Jalen really well, but this is my first time being teammates with him. So you're still kind of getting acclimated and adjusted. So I think as a point guard, especially, you got to know your teammates like the back of your hand. You got to know the system like the back of your hand. You got to,
figure out exactly what Mose wants from not only you but from the rest of the team, because you got to be the extension of the coach out on the court. So I think honestly just getting acclimated, understanding the system, understanding my guys, where they want the ball, where does P like the ball, what spacing does he like, Franz, what are you looking for in transition, what are you looking for in the half court system, understanding, okay, what makes AB go, how can I get him to go, do you have to pull him aside to talk to him, can you call him out, just different things for each teammate is something that I take personally, and something I take pride in as being a leader, and especially being a veteran on this team. That's going to be really my focus.
Mwah. That's exactly what you want to hear. That's the type of answer that not everybody's as eloquent, and everybody's able to express themselves when it comes to talking to the media or talking to strangers, let's say. So I get that, and a lot of them I'm sure are probably feeling that. But to hear him just articulate it so well and what it means to be a true point guard and be able to be looking to set your guys up and how to set them up and how to lead. So that right there to me is just that's exactly what we've been waiting for and looking for the last few years.
Yeah, I'm just going to try to share everything with him, honestly. I remember being in his shoes.
This is talking about how he's going to be mentoring Jase.
And having good veterans to kind of take me under their wing, give me tips, tell me what to look for, tell me what not to look for, show me how to recover, do recovery, show me how to get to work early, stay late, things like that. So just the NBA game is so different than the college game, and you know that going into it, but there's still things you have to figure out. And as a vet, you want to try to help that learning curve just speed up. So just trying to be as vocal with him as possible, trying to share as much knowledge with him that I can. And he's receptive of it. Like, he's asking questions. He's eager to learn. And those are the type of rookies you want to have. Yeah, I think it's just a feel. It's just a feel. I try not to talk about it too much.
This part is talking about the assist to turnover ratio and how he gauges when he can be aggressive and when he's just trying to manage the situation.
Not jinx myself. So if there is a time throughout the year where I have a pretty good stretch, I'd appreciate it if you guys just kind of let it go and let me continue to not turn the ball over. But I think it's just balance. It's understanding the game. It's kind of setting the table, being that leader. If I'm turning the ball over, throwing the ball all over the court, what am I really expecting everyone else to do? And we have the ball in our hands the most, and so you're just trying to lead by example and kind of set that tone of valuing the possessions.
On the court, it was just amazing how everything was done for you to be great. You don't have nothing else to think that work, and that's cool and great feeling. So I worked on a lot of things after the summer league, but it was pretty much the same thing as I was working for the last 3 years. Just the shot mechanic, confidence in taking the shots too. And after my objectives for the rookie season is just be on the court, and I don't really set limits in what I can get. It's just, I'm somebody who really think that you can get some good parts in everybody's game. So I've been looking up to Desmond, shot making, shot selection, Paolo, how he uses his body. I was really impressed how he uses his body, and I think I have to learn a lot from him this year. Franz, I haven't played with him since he came back from the European Championship, but I've been looking at them, especially Paolo and Franz, because we pretty much have the same height and weight, so expectations?
Yeah, expectation,
oh, yeah.
anticipation.
It was really clear since the summer league. We all have the same objective. It's a big one. I think everybody wants to get to the finals this year. So it's good to know that everybody has the same objective in mind, and is ready to do whatever it takes to accomplish it. So, like I was saying, I've watched a lot of NBA growing up, so I know a lot of players, and I have a lot of players who inspired me. But I can name three in Paul George, Jimmy Butler, and Gershon Yabusele, who were, I think, the three main guys who were like, all right, I want to be like them, and I want to play like them.
Quick note, hopefully we don't have any contract issues with him like they've had with Jimmy. So let's hope that's the case.
We didn't really talk about role, but like I say multiple times, like this year is going to be my fourth season being a rookie and being one of the youngest in the team. I was pro for like this is going my fourth year pro, so I know what it takes to be on the court and get responsibility as a young player. So I guess I'll have to just start over again and do the same thing as I've been doing the last 3 years. For my game, I think it's going to be versatility. I like one thing about me and my game is that every time I mean, sometimes I do some things and people are like, oh, I didn't know he could do that. And I think showcasing that I'm able to do a lot of things is going to be one thing I'm going to enjoy this year.
I didn't know he can dribble as well as he could.
That's great. I think European players are taking over the basketball nowadays. You just have to see as like the past MVPs, the best players in the league. It's just great to at least be a part of that group of players who can represent Europe and show that the basketball world is evolving. So I didn't watch it on television because the games are at 2 or 4 a.m. so I don't want to wake up. But yeah, so the first highlights of a player that I watched were the highlights from Dwight Howard. And now being a part of the organization that drafted him and where he's been so great and you had so many great players going through that organization, it was just a great feeling.
Vegas. Just the physicality. I mean, it's 10 fouls in summer league, so guys are going to use that. So it taught me that guys are going to be physical with me right away. So came in here, and I think one of the biggest things I kind of just looked at was the weight room. Always being in there, always getting stronger, and then just the IQ and feel. A lot of guys are trying to jump your plays because they already know what you're doing, so making sure you always got a second read. You always want to try to be on the floor with the highest level guys, so just coming in, you just got to keep your head down and work. Every day, just try to build a bond with these guys, try to be like brothers. Like, so far, these guys have been big brothers to me, just learning, especially Tyus. I think Tyus is really one guy that's kind of just telling me how to be a pro every day and how I should attack each day. Oh, super valuable. When you have somebody who's been doing it for 10 plus years, you want to learn everything that they're doing. I mean, you don't last in this league that long if you're not doing something right. So just learning from him every day, especially for me being a point guard, just learning from a guy like that, who's led the league in assist-to-turnover ratio for multiple years. So just learning what he's doing right. I mean, when you always have guys coming in early, ready to work, I mean, it always shows the character of a team. And I think one thing I've already seen is how gritty these guys are. Like, these guys come down, they put their head down and they work. Like, they come in, they do their jobs, they stay late, come in early, get their work done. And I think that's one thing that's really just, like, blown my mind is, like, these guys are really, like, invested in this. I mean, you always want to be on a team that's ready to compete right away, honestly. And, we have the team to do that. So for me, in any way I can help, shape, or form, whether that's on or off the court, I just want to be that person. If that's not playing and, being a great teammate, I'm ready to do that. If it's a little bit of playing time, I'm ready to do anything, honestly. I just want to be, a positive impact on this team.
Season.
Just getting better every day. I think that's one thing for me. Just, keep developing as a player, keep learning, always keep an open mind. Don't knock it until you try it, honestly. I mean, a lot of guys have been telling me to try a lot of different things so far just with my game, and I haven't ignored a single one. So just, getting better every day.
I feel great.
Two young guys, they have good heads on their shoulders. I think they may not contribute too much this year unless there's a bunch of injuries, but I really like their mindset and how they've come in just ready to work.
Great, man. Mind, body, and spirit, all alike, very aligned. Very happy to be in here, to see a full building, smiles, laughter, conversations about direction and where we're going. I can't wait to continue to get it started, and this is always the perfect jump off to the year. So, yeah, I'm feeling really good. Good to see you. Absolutely. We've had a lot of great conversations, to be honest. He's especially been around like this past month and in the building, which I have been as well. So it's created a lot of great space for us to be around, have conversations, both about basketball, obviously, because we're in here working out, and we've got to be enjoying workouts together and really kind of get the feel of being on the court with each other a bit. But I think really what I've cherished most so far, outside of seeing him playing the runs here and be just an absolute dog, talk the most smack in the building, which I was talking from the sideline. I wasn't even playing. He was turning me up. But just our conversations about life, about where he's come from, about the trials that he's faced, how he's gotten to this point in his career, being able to share vice versa, the things that I hold true to my heart and close to my heart, and the things that make me who I am, the people that make me who I am, and getting to share that side of everything. I feel like it's how you truly create chemistry, how you truly create that connection to where on the court I can trust Des fully because I know Des, and Des can trust me 100% because he knows who Jalen Suggs is. And I think when we get to mesh that, as time passes, as we continue to play, as the season evolves and goes on, I think the league, everyone who follows basketball, will continue to see why not only was that one of the best acquisitions of the summer, but why me and Bane can be one of greedy talk, the best backcourt in the NBA because of how well versed we are in every aspect. We either are elite or we cover for each other in where we are elite. So I'm very excited to get to hooping with him along with everybody else.
You can just see how loquacious he is. Like, this guy is ready to talk. So if we've noticed in the off season, he's done a couple of the interviews for the team. Like when we traded for Desmond, Jalen was the one that was talking about the trade, and also during summer league, he was there in summer league. I don't think either Paolo or Franz were there, but he was there front and center in front of the cameras talking. So he's going to be a great thing, and you can hear they talked about how he's in a great mindset, and look at that smile. Like what can't you what don't you love about that smile?
The fact that I got Stones in the building with me is like makes little Jalen jump for joy, literally.
Tyus' nickname is Stones.
I watched Tyus' whole journey coming up, literally blazed the way for point guards in Minnesota, especially from my eyes. He was doing everything that I wanted to do. Elite in high school, one of the best players. Took time at every game to take care of everybody who came out to Apple Valley to watch his performances and give love. Always gave love to me and advice and confidence. And then he goes and wins a national championship, which was high on my list, which I almost got. He low-key got me on that one. But then, come full circle. I get to watch him in the NBA, and now we're in the same locker room talking about direction, talking about how to lead, the things that he's seen and felt in different environments, different teams, and in different points of the year, beginning, middle, and then playoff time. All moments that he's been in has been amazing. And I know him to the down to the root, down to the core of who Tyus is and his family and where he comes from. So that relationship is so pure. And I'm very excited for everybody to see who Tyus Jones is, for our guard group, not only me and Tyus, but AB, Jase, for all of us to continue to grow, evolve off of each other. But yeah, having Tyus in here namely, so cool. It makes me so happy. That's my goal. My goal was training camp, which I had to let go, a little bittersweet. But I'm really having it and placing it all in God's hands, to be honest. I've kind of taken that out of my psyche, taking that out of my control and giving that to him, and really approaching every day with the intention to do everything in my power so that I can be, available and ready for the boys and for the squad, come game one. I feel like I've studied a ton of football this offseason. It's kind of helped take away some of the mental strain that has come with not being able to be out on the basketball court and play.
That's interesting. This question is more about what has he done mentally to prepare, as well as what his preparation has been for him being basically the lead guard.
Play in games and be active here, and I think something that coincides exactly with the responsibilities and the things that I'm taking on this year has just been quarterback play. Studied Jaden Daniels and got to have a lot of really dope conversations with him. Obviously, and all my boys in Pitt, sharing stories, being able to chop it up with Rogers and things that they have going on that end. getting to talk to all my boys in college, all my college QBs, who I rolled in. Dylan Raiola is another one who I've got to share a conversation with, just about perspective and journey. But like leading a team is so hard to do. Leading a group of grown men is not easy, and I really resonate with that fact in being a quarterback. I think that's one of the things that I'm really excited to step into this year is an evolved form of that. Jalen Suggs, the leader, and every day is an opportunity for me to practice and be that, because this is the first time the rookies are seeing me in that light. This is the first time some of the new guys are seeing me in that light. This is the first time, again, in some time that I've stepped into that light. So really getting to feel, how far I've come in my own journey, how far we've come in our own journey, put it together, and literally go achieve greatness. It's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, first of all, what's up, guys? It's good to see you guys. No, I feel good. I had 2 weeks, obviously, since the final. I got to spend some time at home, see some friends and family, and obviously feel in shape basketball-wise, and super excited to be back here and see everybody. I think our expectations should be higher than any of the other years. You know what I mean? I think we added obviously Desmond Bain, but I think some other really good players to the roster, and I think talent-wise, mentality-wise, is we should go into the year thinking like a contender, and not cutting ourselves short, and believing in the chance that we got. Yeah, I mean, it's always bittersweet, those moments. Obviously, I was super excited. I think he's a hell of a player. I thought right away that he fits really well into what we needed. Obviously, he had a great run with Memphis, and I think just the way he plays, can do stuff on the ball, can create for other people, but it's not necessarily ball dominant. So I think that fits our group extremely well. I do want to mention, though, I was a little sad too to see some of the guys go. So wish them nothing but the best, and obviously we're here now, though, so I think we're ready to go. Obviously I worked a lot on my three. I thought I had stretches in Euro basketball. I shot it a lot better, and I think I can be more consistent with that. So I'm super excited to show that, obviously, and I'm super proud of Tristan. I thought he had a hell of a summer. It's not easy to come into that team and find your spot right away. So he hit some super huge shots for the group, brought great energy. And I think played a similar role to what he can play here. So obviously, I thought he showed a tremendous amount of swagger, honestly, out there. Resilience, was locked in important moments, and like I said, I think a lot of the stuff that he did there, I think is going to translate to our game here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like if you watched my videos from Team Germany all throughout Eurobasket, that's what I said every single time. His role, Tristan's role, is going to be the same from Eurobasket or from Team Germany to the Orlando Magic. So that's going to be super nice. And boy, did he hit some big shots in that final and played stellar defense throughout the tournament. So Tristan, I think, can make a big leap if he's given the opportunity.
I think when you look at our roster last year or how we played, I think it's always easy to say, oh, these guys scored the most, so they did their thing. And at the end of the day, we got to play well as a team. So that's on me and Paolo as much as anybody to make sure everybody's in a good spot, that we can flow as a group, flow offensively. And I think for our group, I think we're very tall but versatile. I think we should run as much as we can, and like I said, I think that the goal of our offense should not be to maximize just me and Paolo, but maximize everyone's ability. So that's how we got to play, and that's what training camp is for. Man, I was so excited when that came out. Obviously, it's honestly a little surreal. You know what I mean? That we get to play a real game there. Everybody and their mom is going to try to come to the game from Germany, from Europe. So. I'm super excited for that, just because I know the NBA can feel super far away for people outside the States. So an experience like that, hopefully there will be a lot of young kids there, because those experiences go an extremely long way to getting people started with the sport and kind of starting that fire. So that's why I'm super excited to play there. We'll try to get as many tickets as I can, and yeah, I'm telling you, man, people are gonna go crazy for the tickets. Like that just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So everybody that can get their hand on a ticket, they'll pay whatever for it, I think. So I'm super excited. Obviously, I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, and like I said, I hope some young people are in there that that'll be the experience that kind of gets them started. Because like I said, you can watch videos on YouTube and stuff, but seeing that stuff up close I think goes a long way. I think the biggest
Shout out YouTube.
thing that I took away from it is that just the vibe that we have with that team is super special, and I think in moments of adversity, in tight games, maybe in some adversity moments in practice, I think those things go a long way when you trust the guy next to you, and I think we've got to do our best to create that same vibe here. I know it's a lot harder, it's a longer season, it's a different situation in the NBA, but I think for me that was our superpower in the summer. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I talk about it every year. I think obviously that is part of my development, and I think I'm up for the challenge. I think to be a good leader for other people, I think you got to be know who you are and be okay with that too. So I think that's been the biggest process for me the last couple of years, which I think is normal in my life situation. And like I said, I think I'm up for the challenge. Super excited to learn how to do that in a better way and be more vocal about it too. I think usually I'm someone more quiet and kind of go about my business and try to be a leader that way. But I think even in the summer, maybe that's one thing that I learned too from the summer is how to do that a little bit more, be more vocal, and hold people accountable that way. Yeah, I think with shooting, I think some of it is mental. So some of that work doesn't necessarily happen on the court, and I think the other part of it, obviously, getting a lot of reps in, just making sure the shot feels good and fluid.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, I expected that question. I'm mentally, I'm more in the way of getting in shape now and not rehamming. I obviously worked really hard. I committed to getting the thing right. Put really everything I had. Invested a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of patience and mental capacity into this thing. So I really logged in on getting better, and picked up a lot of fun, cool new habits for me that I hope will extend my career and just help me grow too. I mean, you always think about like playing or not playing, but I see it as an opportunity to kind of like grow as a human too and learn a lot from it, and then when my body is ready, I know my body best, and then everything will be as it always was. Well, I mean, you kind of took the answer from me. Of course, like there's a motivation there, but again, if I'm not ready, I'm not ready. But to me, that is probably one of the coolest things I'll ever experience in my career. I think I'll speak for Franz and myself here together, because I know he doesn't ever express it the way I do, but that's very meaningful for us, our family, our friends, people that we weren't able to take on this journey here in America. So get a chance to see us play, family members that have never seen us play, like that means a lot. We grew up in that gym, we grew up with that club, so to have this opportunity, to have the league and the Magic kind of figure this out, it's very meaningful to us. Well, I'll show them a lot. It won't have to do anything with sights, though, I'll tell you that much.
The question is, where are you going to show the guys when you go out to Berlin?
But yeah, I mean, obviously Berlin, an incredible city from a historical perspective, somewhat overwhelming. So I hope we have a couple days to kind of check it out. I get to know it every summer new for me, so I'm excited to kind of bring our American world together with the German world and kind of embrace that. And obviously we have a lot of friends and family come, even from the States. That's going to be a really cool week. Showing how good we can be, I think, generally. I hope I can play a huge role in that. Obviously, you always hope that, but I haven't really thought about it much. I'll tell you that from a confidence level, that hasn't dropped just because I hurt my knee for one season. So for me, it's an expectation to be pretty seamless, and I've been working on that for months to kind of have that same mentality that I had before the season, and don't lack physicality, emotion, explosiveness and all that stuff that starts up here. So I've been working on that because I don't want that to be a huge bridge time for me. I want to be the player that I am, and so you guys basically forget that I ever had this injury. That's kind of like my mentality going into this season.
So that was media day when they basically were able to talk to each one of our regular contract guys. So there's two other guys that are going to be, you're going to see them very often. You're going to see Orlando Robinson and Jamal Cain. Those are our two-way guys. We still have one more spot left. That's going to be a battle between the Exhibit 10 contracts that we have signed for the training camp. So if you want to know who those guys are, there's a video in my channel about that. So that's going to be the last bit of team to finalize so that we know who we're going to go into this season with. That's basically what's been going on the first couple days in the Orlando Magic world. They had media availability and 2 days of training camp so far. In those days of training camp, the big thing everybody's trying to do is see what color of jerseys who's wearing and who's playing with who, but that's not going to be a thing. Everybody just let that go. Sometimes Paolo's going to wear green. Sometimes Jase is going to wear green. And it is what it is. And it doesn't mean that that's who's going to start where or who's going to play with who. So everybody just move on with that. The other thing is everybody's talking about that they've been gelling well, that they've been, that we can see the aggression from AB already, that everyone is just in a good frame of mind. And that's everything that we want to hear, really. And as long as Jalen is going through some of the non-contact drills and they start ramping him up over the course of the training camp, so he hopefully plays 1 or 2 preseason games before the regular season, that would be ideal. But again, take your time. Don't rush. We don't want you to overexert yourself. We got a long season ahead. Miami, who we're playing in the opening night, they also are injured right now with Tyler Hero not playing. So take your time. We've got enough on the team to be able to win that game. So ease into it. Don't rush. Let's make sure that you're 100% healthy. Drop a comment below on what you think our ceiling is going to be this year. Are we going to win the championship? Are we going to go to the conference finals? You let me know. And as always, do the rest of the YouTube things. Hit that like, share this video, and if you're one to do so, hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any content that I produce, as well as joining the Orlando Magic Nation community. I thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you're having a great day.